afternoon, Evangel. Thank you so much for all that you do for our church and for our community. I just want to take a few minutes and share with you some of the key thoughts from our training session in the spring about first impressions. If we want to be a safe place for everyone to explore faith in Jesus, encounter his love, and look more and more like him every day, then first impressions matter. And it's going to start right here in our parking lot. As people come and they walk into the church for the first time. A lot of times that even happens before this building. It happens in their living rooms, on their computers. But science would show us that we have about 7 seconds to make a really good impression. And then 10 minutes after that, if we don't get it right within those first 7 seconds and 10 minutes, then everything else that we do is for nothing. And I know you're thinking, well, what can we do in 7 seconds? Well, studies would show us that 38% of it is what we sound like, 7% is what we say, but 55% is how we look. It's the intangibles. What are the smells? What are the things that we feel? What are the things that we're hearing? And so I want you to do a quick little exercise. I want you to think through a Sunday morning or a Tuesday evening, if that's when you volunteer. And I want you to walk through from parking lot to lobby. What does it sound like? What do you smell? What do you see? Because like the Febreze commercial very wisely tells us, we do get nose blind. We get very at home and familiar with things that our first time guests will notice. So right now, I want you to pause this video and think through, what is it that you are seeing, hearing, smelling, and experiencing on a Sunday morning or Tuesday night as a first time guest? All right, well, I hope that was really eye-opening and enlightening. I know whenever I do this, I always find things that need to get cleaned up, things that need to get fixed. And so I hope that you came away with a few little takeaways too for your area or department. Well, here are a few ideas for how we can make those first 7 seconds and first 10 minutes really effective. The first is that we need to be always on, and I know that sounds really intimidating, but let me explain. When I was in Bible college, our worship team leader came to us and said, hey, if I look out on a chapel and you are in the seats but you're not worshiping, we're going to have a chat. And if that happens too many times, you're off the team. And that seemed a little harsh at the time, but now I get it. Because I want you to think through your department, your ministry. If you are part of our Next Gen team and the only time you ever talk to a child or a teenager is when you're volunteering, they're going to notice. You're going to have a relationship problem. If you're on our hospitality team and you ignore everyone but your friends, unless you're serving, people are going to notice. Your welcome is not going to matter. If you're part of our worship team, but the only time you're visibly worshiping is when you're on stage, you're going to have a credibility problem. If you are not serving in the place where you are passionate or gifted to be, that's a whole nother question. Let's have a conversation to help you find your fit. But if you are, then I challenge you to be part of that team, whether you are scheduled or not. Allow those relationships to deepen. Allow people to know you and to you be known. And add the credibility and the power behind your position, because it is you whether you're on or off. You're just always on. Second is to respond to scheduling requests. I know we've all walked into places where everyone is scrambling, trying to find a substitute for a host or for a teacher that's gone that Sunday but forgot to let anyone know. That is not the first impression that we want to give. And so if you are responding to those scheduling requests, yes and no, it just allows us to find fill-ins with notice so that we can have a continuous experience of excellence whenever our guests come. The third thing is, again, for you, it's to grow. We want to be a church that's equipping you well, And so we would ask that you really take advantage of all of the training that we're going to do. If there's something that you're finding is just a struggle or you're unsure of, ask questions. We'd love to come alongside you and help you grow. Number 4 is to acknowledge people. Everyone, whether we're on or off, if we could just acknowledge people, it would make a huge impact on those 7 seconds and first 10 minutes, because you want to be seen. You want to be welcomed when you come. But then I would want to challenge all of us to take it one step further. If we meet someone new in the lobby and they have kids, take it one step further. Walk them to the kids' check-in. Introduce them to a teacher. If you're an adult, invite them to sit with you. That's always intimidating. Where am I going to sit on a Sunday morning? If you're hearing someone talk about something that's going on in their life that's really hard, right then and there, offer to pray for them. Take it one step further. Check in with them during the week. If you hear someone's lonely, invite them to your community group. It doesn't take much, just one step further. And last is to make security a priority. And security is not safety, although safety is security. And we do care about safety tremendously, especially with our next gen. But pick up on people's cues. Are they uncomfortable? Do they want this conversation to end? Do they need more? Are they wanting to unpack something that's happening in their life? If we're making security a priority, we're telling them, you're okay here. You're more than just safe. You're okay here. This is a place where you belong and you can fit in and you're welcome. So just to recap, people that are always on, make sure that our private life and our public life are lined up. 2, respond so that we're not scrambling. That's the worst first impression that we can make. 3, we are going to be people that grow. We want to be people that are always developing our skills as leaders, and you are a leader. 4 is we're going to acknowledge people when they come in, first time and not. Let's be excited to see people. 5, we're going to take it one step further. It doesn't have to be long, just an invitation, a passing someone along to the next step. But we're going to be people that take it one step further. And 6 is to make security a priority. Again, not just safety, although that is, but security. And I really do believe that if we do all of those 6 things, plus the ones that you guys have already said that as a team you want to be really working on this fall, and that will be part of this email. If we do those 6 plus, I know that we are going to be a church with great first impressions that lay the foundation for people to be safe, to explore faith in Jesus, encounter his love, and look more and more like him every day. So once again, thank you so much for all you do at Evangel. We could not do this without you. We know it. Trust me, we know it, and we are so grateful for you.